Dustin Poirer, and we got. I always struggle with this guy's name.
Benoit Saint-Denis.
Benoit Saint-Denis, yeah, a killer, basically undefeated killer, taking on Dustin Poirer, and you sent this to our group chat today. And I believe your exact quote was, "Why the fuck is Dustin fighting Benoit?" And I'm happy about this fight in some ways. I do think that Dustin, I wish he was a little more protected, but it is very rare that somebody who's still at the top, who's got this great name value, is fighting a killer like this. I mean, we're talking about what, number 3, number 4 versus number 12?
Yeah, absolutely. Respect to Dustin too, because he did say not that long ago that only big fights were going to be in his future. And this is a super dangerous guy, many rankings below him that nobody really wants to fight. So props to Dustin for stepping up and saying, I'll take him.
And I don't know, man. We'll pick as we get closer to go time here, but yeah,
I think that Benoit is opening as a favorite. So
it's wild, but Benoit's never faced somebody. This is still a completely different caliber opponent, kind of like almost like we talked about with Pinwood and Ferguson, except for obviously Poirier much more on the upside of his career still, and Benoit, I would say, has looked far more impressive, and not even knocking than Patty. So, but I feel like almost a similar situation where we have this guy who's proven himself up to this point, but not at the level where Dustin is. So I'm fascinated by this fight. I'm glad it's going to be on an already stacked card. It's 5 rounds too. So we'll see as the fight goes on. There's going to be a lot of questions. It's one of those fights, we always say the nights go long, but as a fan, I guess I'm really curious to see, especially if we get past round 3, like what this fight looks like.
Yeah, and you mentioned the 5-round thing. I think that favors Dustin for sure. Because obviously, experience-wise, he has much more experience in 5-round fights, especially in the UFC. Benoit has none. But the way that Benoit fights also, Dustin, if he can outlast the onslaught early on, we know he has the cardio and the heart to fight to the end, and he can get that finish near the end of the fight for sure.
Yeah, we'll pick a winner as we get closer that week, but I think it's a very interesting fight. But